Good afternoon everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this new episode of News on Map World. In this episode we will be looking at the places in news and based on what we will be looking at some questions which will be important for your prelims and mains examination. So let's have a look at the practice question which was given to you in the previous episode. Okay, a man writes a message in a plastic bottle and seals it and floats it into the ocean near Brisbane. This is a place in Australia. Australia's east coast city. This message is most likely to have been received first on the coast of which of the following countries? Chile, Argentina, Mexico, Papua New Guinea. Okay, so let's have a look at the map. When we are talking about this scenario where is a bottle of messages floating in the ocean, most probably you must know that in the ocean there is no way of communication other than the ocean currents. Okay, so ocean currents will be guiding the direction of this particular message. Okay, so let's have a look at the ocean currents. Okay, so when we are talking about the Brisbane, this area here in the Australia's eastern coast is basically your Brisbane. Okay, so looking at Australia's Brisbane, now if I drop a bottle of message over here, there are chances that this current will first grasp it and move it to in this particular direction. Okay, so here you can see these are the currents. Let's say this is the South Pacific current basically. So this current will move in the direction which is eastward. Okay, and other than that, if you look at this can go like this. Okay, other than that this way. Okay, but the thing is this is the first current and most probability this will go like this from here towards eastward and then moving in with this particular current over here. Either you can say Antarctic circumpolar current, and this is how it will reach the coast of South America first. Okay, so here you can see this is the coast of South America. This is Chile over here, and this is the eastern coast where Argentina is there. Since this current first reached at the western coast of South America, we can say that it will first reach Chile. Other than that, other options like Papua New Guinea, this will be in the opposite direction somewhere here. Okay, so that is not a possibility. Other than that, if we are looking at the Mexico, here you can see in the North America, for reaching Mexico, what you have to do is you have to go like this and go somewhere upwards here, but that is far-fetched possibility considering the current. This is the most probable answer. You can see that on the coast of South America we will be reaching Chile first. Okay, so your answer would be Chile considering the flow of the currents in the ocean. Okay, so A would be your answer, Chile. Okay, moving forward, question number 1 we'll see because recently there has been 2+2 ministerial dialogue which has been held in Delhi between India and Australia. Okay, so the relationship between India and Australia is important, and recently when we are talking about the current geopolitical dynamics where Australia and other Quad members are also talking with China now. Okay, so this particular summit was kind of important for us. Okay, so this 2+2 ministerial dialogue, that we have with all the Quad countries. Okay, that is Japan, USA and Australia. So let's have a look at the question which we have framed for this. Which of the following is not a coastal city? You have to check which of the following is not a coastal city. A, Hobart, Melbourne, Canberra and Adelaide. Okay, so let's see on the map. Here you can say this is the map of Australia. Okay, and now when we are talking about the southern portion of this particular area, here you can see that there is this on the western coast, Adelaide. This particular city is a coastal city, we can see on the map. Then you can come here, you can look at in the southernmost part of Australia, that is Melbourne, and then here there is an island, over there is Hobart. Okay, these three cities are basically your coastal cities. Then when we are talking about Canberra, here you can see this is a landlocked city. This is basically capital region. Okay, like we have NCT or NCR, that way they have Australian capital region, that is this Canberra. Okay, so moving further, let's see the question again. Your answer would be Canberra. This is not a coastal city. Okay, so moving further to the next question. Recently 1500 Myanmar civilians took shelter in Mizoram's Champhai district. Okay, And you know that in Mizoram, in Myanmar, there is a civil war like situation going on between the military over there and the pro-democratic protesters there. Okay, these protesters are basically the ethnic communities over there. Okay, so because of which there had been some clash and few people displaced to India, took shelter in India. So question is, some states and union territories of India lie on international borders, some of which also form international borders with more than one country. Tell how many of these states share international border with the only two countries. Here not more than or not less than, just only two countries we have to look at. 2, 3, 4 and 5 are the options. So let's have a look at the map of India. Okay. First of all, they have asked about the states, so we will not consider union territory. So in case of Ladakh, we touch boundary with three nations, like one is Pakistan, second is Afghanistan. Here there is some portion of landmass of Afghanistan is touching the Indian border, and then the third is China. Okay, but still this is a union territory and they have asked for the two nations only. So that is why Ladakh will not be the answer. Then moving further, if we talk about Himachal, this is sharing border with China only. Okay, then Uttarakhand. When we are talking about Uttarakhand, there are two countries which share border with Uttarakhand. One is China and second is Nepal. So one thing would be your Uttarakhand. Okay, only two nations sharing the border. Okay, after that, moving here, when we are talking about Sikkim, here you can see we have a boundary with Nepal and then China and then Bhutan. So Sikkim cannot be our answer. Moving further, then Arunachal Pradesh, if we see, Arunachal Pradesh has boundary with China, okay, and then it has boundary with Myanmar and then Bhutan. So Arunachal Pradesh cannot be our answer as well. Okay. Other than that, when we are talking about Assam, here we have this particular place that is touching with Bhutan, that is one, and second is Bangladesh, that is your second country. So Assam can be your answer. So second state would be Assam. Okay. Then moving further, here you can see Nagaland has boundary with Myanmar only, Manipur has boundary with Myanmar only, but Mizoram, when we talk about, Mizoram has boundary with Myanmar as well as Bangladesh. Okay, so Mizoram can be your answer here. Okay. Other than that, when we are looking at the western border, these all states share boundary with Pakistan only, so we will not look into it. So now there are three states. One is Uttarakhand, second is Assam, and third is Mizoram, which share boundary with two countries only. Okay, so let's go to the question again. Your answer would be your answer would be B, three states, that is Uttarakhand, Assam and Mizoram. Okay, so that would be your answer, option B. Let's see question number 3. Before that, there is a reference of the news, that is Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways of India and the Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Lithuania met in New Delhi to strengthen the maritime bilateral relations between India and Lithuania. Okay? So that is the reference, and now let's see the question. How many of the following countries share land border with Lithuania? Okay. Now your options are various nations are Russia, then Latvia, Poland, Estonia, Belarus and Ukraine. So let's see the correct answer. Before that, we'll look at the map. Okay, so this is the map of the Europe, and you can say there is this Russia. And now when we are talking about our country of our interest, that is Lithuania. Okay, so that is here. When we are talking about the countries which share boundaries with this, that is first is Latvia. Okay, second is Belarus, third is Poland in the southern area, and here you can see this small portion here, that is Kaliningrad. Okay, this Kaliningrad, this area belongs to Russia. Okay, so though it does not have direct contact with the mainland Russia, but a part of Russia is present here, so we will say it has international boundary with Russia as well. Okay, so here you can see Latvia, Belarus, Poland and Russia, you can say. Okay, so let's see the question again. So as we have to see the land border with Lithuania. Okay, so Russia is there because Kaliningrad, then Poland is there, third Belarus is there. Okay, then Ukraine is not there. Okay, and then Latvia is there and Estonia is not there. Okay, So we can say 1, 2, 3 and 4. Only 4 would be your answer, that is option C. Okay, moving further, question number 4. Recently, China has created world's first near space command equipped with hypersonic weapon. What is near space command? Basically, you know that in India we have 3 commands, or you can say 3 defense forces. One is on the land, that is army. Then we have air force, and then we have navy. Okay, now China has created one more, that is, you can say, rocket force. Okay, this force will be present in the near space command. Okay, or you can say from the nearly some 60 kilometers from our atmosphere. Okay, so it will be dealing with all these things. This is relatively a new concept because other countries do not have it, and China sees that after this land based warfare, etc., space can be the next battlefield. Okay, so that is why they have established this new command, that is rocket force. Okay, so the question is, consider the following location of the following city: Beijing, Hong Kong, Wuhan and Shanghai. Which of the following are port cities? Okay, so let's have a look at the map. So when we are talking about this Chinese country, and we'll take the eastern part of this country, here you can see this is Beijing. Okay, this looks as a port city, but it is not a port city, it is in a little bit in the mainland. And then when we come to Shanghai, Shanghai is on the mouth of Yangtze river. Okay, so that is a you can say a port city. And then when we come to this Hong Kong region, you know that Hong Kong has been given to China by Britishers, so this is also one of the port city. Okay, and then coming to Wuhan, Wuhan is you can see here, it is a landlocked city, it is inside the mainland China. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about Wuhan and Shanghai, these are important because from Wuhan, you can say Wuhan is on the Yangtze river. Okay, and then Shanghai is on the mouth of this particular river, so that becomes important for us. Okay, Yangtze is the largest, or you can say longest river of Asia. Okay, that is why it is important. Other than that, when we are talking about China, Xinjiang region can be important because of the Uyghur Muslims. Okay, so that is about this. Let's see the question again. So Beijing, as I told you, this is not a port city, and then Hong Kong is a port city, Wuhan is not a port city, and Shanghai is a port city. So your answer would be 2 and 4, that is option D. Okay, moving further. Recently, Second Confederation of Indian Industries, India Nordic-Baltic Business Conclave has held, and that is why we have taken this particular question. So let's see, there is a mention of this Nordic-Baltic 8. Okay, so this NB 8 is basically Nordic countries plus Baltic countries. In Nordic countries there are 5 countries, and then in Baltic countries there are 3 countries, which forms 8 countries. Okay, so let's have a look at the question. Consider the following statement: all Nordic and Baltic countries are connected to the European mainland. Second statement is, most of the Nordic and Baltic countries are located on the coast of Baltic Sea. C, all Nordic and Baltic countries share coastline with Atlantic Ocean or related water bodies. Okay, so let's have a look at the map. Okay, this is the region basically which we are talking about right now. Okay, this particular area here, this is your peninsula, which is Scandinavia, Scandinavian peninsula. Okay, and then when we are talking about this particular region is considered as Scandinavia. Okay, Scandinavian region, you can say. This is the geographical feature, and this is related to your countries. Okay, and you can say because of their similar culture. Okay, here this is like this. Okay, let's have a look at the bigger picture of this map. Here you can see, here this is the region, this is the peninsula from the in the green part is this is Scandinavian peninsula. It is the geographical feature. Okay, and then when we are talking about this broader region over here, okay, which includes this island Denmark. Okay, so this particular area is called Scandinavia or Scandinavian region. Okay, and then when we are talking about this Baltic countries, this is the area here in the Baltic Sea that includes Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. Okay, this is are the Baltic nations. So basically, when we are talking about the Scandinavian countries, so there will be one is Norway, second would be Sweden, third would be Finland, fourth would be Denmark, and then fifth would be Iceland. Okay, so basically these are the 5 countries in Scandinavia. Okay, and when we are talking about the countries in the Scandinavian peninsula, there can be only 3 countries, that is Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Here you can see in the map Norway, Sweden, and Finland. These are the Scandinavian peninsula. Okay, so let's see the question again. Other than that, one thing which we have to see here is that they asked that all these countries have connection with the Atlantic Ocean or not. Okay, so here you can see this is Atlantic Ocean. This extended version is North Sea, and then Baltic Sea is also extended version of this Atlantic Sea only. Okay, so we can say all the countries here are part of Atlantic Oceans or somehow connected to Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so that is another statement. And now when we are talking about this particular area, which we have seen that most countries are having a coastline with the Baltic Sea. Okay, so here you can see one, Sweden has it, Finland has it, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania has it. Okay, so let's see the statements now. All Nordic and Baltic countries are connected to European mainland. Okay, so this statement is incorrect because we have seen that there is Iceland which is not in the European mainland. Okay, then most of the Nordic and Baltic countries are located on the coast of Baltic Sea. This we have seen that most of the countries of this particular area are on this particular region, that is Baltic Sea, and here Sweden has it, Finland has a boundary, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania has a boundary, and if you extend it to Denmark, you can say that Denmark also has this boundary. Okay, so now you can say this statement is correct. Okay, statement number 3, all Nordic and Baltic countries share coastline with the Atlantic Ocean or related water bodies. Okay, this statement is correct because I have told you that this is extended version of Atlantic, North Sea, and then Baltic Sea. This is the extended area of Atlantic Oceans only. Okay, so only statement 2 and 3 are correct. So answer would be B, only 2. Okay, so moving further, question number 6. Recently, a cargo ship coming to India was hijacked by Houthi rebels in Red Sea. Okay, so these Houthi rebels are, somewhere belongs to Yemen area, and these are, you can say sponsored by Iran or supported by Iran. Okay, so let's see question number 6. Consider the following pair. There is a sea and Gulf coast countries are given. Okay, you have to match which are correct. Okay, Red Sea, Sudan, Gulf of Oman, United Arab Emirates, and Timor Sea, Australia. So let's have a look at the map. Okay, so first region of interest is this particular area, that is on the Red Sea. Okay, they have asked that which country has a boundary with Red Sea. Here you can say Sudan has it. Okay, mostly what we do is that we remember the countries on this particular side, that is Saudi Arabia and Yemen has boundaries with Red Sea, but here you can say Sudan also has this particular boundary here with Red Sea. So this is correct. Okay, moving further, second area of interest was your Gulf of Oman. Okay, so when we are talking about Gulf of Oman in this particular region, and this is Persian Gulf, and when we are talking about the countries here, you can say Oman is over there, that is a bit obvious. Okay, after that, here you can see this particular area in the yellow region is UAE. Okay, so our for our question, this is also correct that UAE also touches with the Gulf of Oman. Okay, then here you can see this is a small portion, this is Qatar in the Persian Gulf. Okay, and now you can see that this particular area here, Saudi Arabia has boundary with Persian Gulf as well. This is additional information, but for our questions point of view, UAE has a a little bit of boundary in the Gulf of Oman as well. Okay, so let's see the third area of interest, that is your Timor Sea. Okay, and there was this Timor state. Okay, and there in the southern part of this particular area, that is Timor Sea. Okay, and this is the mainland Australia you can look at. Okay, so that is why we can say that it has a boundary with Australia as well as some part of Indonesia and Timor Island or Timor Leste. So here you can see Red Sea has a boundary with Sudan, Gulf of Oman has a boundary with UAE, Timor Sea has a boundary with Australia. So you can say all 1, 2 and 3 are matched. Option B would be your right answer. Okay. So moving further, question number 7. Recently the news of the collapse of an illegal gold mine in Suriname made headlines. Okay. Similar incident has happened in, you can say, Uttarkashi, where few laborers has been stuck in a tunnel. Okay. So we have taken this Suriname from there. Consider the following statement. The equator passes through Suriname. Then Suriname is located on the coast of Caribbean Sea. Okay. You have to see which statements are correct. Okay. So let's have a look at the map. When we are talking about Suriname, it is somewhere in the South American continent. Here you can see this is the Caribbean region, and this is your Cuba, Jamaica, all these nations, Mexico, etc. And then when we are talking about Suriname, it is somewhere here in the South American continent. Okay. So this is Suriname. This particular area over here is Suriname. Okay. Then when we are talking about the equator, this particular line is passing through equator. Okay. So we can say that Suriname is on the northern side of equator, and equator does not pass through Suriname. Okay. So that is statement 1. And second statement here was the equator passes through Suriname. It is incorrect. Suriname is located on the coast of Caribbean Sea. Here when we are talking about Caribbean Sea, there are greater Antilles, this particular portion, and then these are lesser Antilles. But when we are talking about Suriname, it is not in the Caribbean Sea, it is part of Atlantic Ocean. Okay. So we can say that it is not having a boundary or any kind of connection with the Caribbean Sea. Okay. So both the statement here you can say are wrong. Equator does not pass through Suriname, and it is not on the coast of Caribbean Sea. Okay. So neither 1 nor 2 would be your answer. Okay. Moving further. Recently, INS Sumedha arrived at Maputo, the capital of Mozambique, as part of her extended operational deployment in Africa. So that is the reference of the news, and now we will see the question. Arrange the following lakes located in the Great African Rift Valley in order to form north to south. You have to see from north to south. Okay. Albert Lake, Lake Tanganyika, and Edward Lake, and Lake Malawi you have to see. Okay. So let's have a look at the African continent here. Okay. So this is the area of interest for us. Okay. Here you can say at the north of this particular Rift Valley, here you can see this is Lake Albert. Okay. This is first Lake Albert. Then second is Lake Edward over here. Okay. Then there is this Lake Tanganyika, and then there is Lake Nyasa or Malawi. Okay. When we are talking about this important lake here, Lake Victoria, though it is in the vicinity of this Rift Valley, but Lake Victoria does not form because of this particular Rift Valley, because this was a natural lake, and not because of this rift. Okay. Now let's see the countries nearby. Here you can say at the Albert Lake is share boundary with Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. Then Lake Edward has the same 2 countries sharing its boundary. And then when we are talking about this Lake Tanganyika, you can say it has boundaries with Tanzania and the DRC. And then Lake Nyasa, it is on the whole boundary is on the Malawi. Okay. Now let's see the question again. So we have seen that first was Lake Albert, then second was Lake Edward. Okay. So first, then would be third, then we have seen the Lake Tanganyika, and then the Malawi. Okay. 1, 3, 2 and 4. So option B would be your right answer here. Okay. Moving further. According to recently published news, Peru has lost more than half of its glacial surface in the last 6 decades. That is because of the climate change. We know that. Okay, so that is why Peru was in news. And let's see the question. Consider the name of the countries and their capitals in the following pairs. Okay. Peru, La Paz, Bolivia, Bogota, Colombia, Lima, Chile, Santiago. Okay. So we have to see how many of them are correctly matched. Okay. So let's have a look. So when we are talking about this particular area here in South American continent. Okay. So now first we will see Colombia, that is Bogota is the capital of Colombia. Okay. Then coming down to Peru, here you can see Peru, Lima is the capital, it is a coastal capital you can say. Okay. Then Bolivia, that is La Paz, and then when we are talking about Chile, that is Santiago. Okay, so let's have a look at the options given to us. Peru has its capital, that is Lima. Okay, when we are talking about Colombia, it has capital, that is Bogota, and when we are talking about Bolivia, that is La Paz. Okay, so here we can see that only Chile has the capital, that is Santiago. That is correct. Okay, so you can say only one pair is matched here. Okay, A would be your answer. Moving further, so let's see the question for your practice. Consider the physical map of North American continent. Consider the following statement. Okay, Appalachian Mountains extend parallel to the Atlantic coast of USA. Statement 2 is the mountain ranges of USA extend mainly into two regions, between which lies the drainage basin of Mississippi River. Okay, you have to choose the correct statement. Your options are given. You have to attempt these questions and answer in the comment box. Okay, so I'll wrap up the session here. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.